Once upon a time there was a baby unicorn named Sparkle who lived in a beautiful forest with his mother Starshine. Sparkle loved exploring the forest and playing in the meadows filled with colorful flowers. He had a bright white coat and a beautiful silvery mane that shimmered in the sunlight. His horn glowed with a magical golden light that helped light his way through the darkest parts of the forest. One day when Sparkle was playing by the stream, he noticed some baby birds in a nest above him. He watched with curiosity as their mother arrived and pushed them out of the nest, forcing them to try flying for the first time. The baby birds fluttered their tiny new wings and took to the sky for the first time. Sparkle wondered what it would be like for him to fly. Unicorns couldn't fly, or could they? Sparkle decided he would try to be the first flying unicorn. The next day, Sparkle climbed up a steep hill so he could get a running start. He backed up and then ran as fast as he could toward the edge of the cliff, jumping out as far as he could. But instead of soaring through the air, Sparkle tumbled down until he landed with a soft thud in a patch of grass. Flying was harder than it looked. But Sparkle was determined to keep trying. The next day Sparkle tried flapping his front legs as hard as he could while galloping toward the cliff, but once again gravity took over and he tumbled down. He was covered in bumps and bruises, but still he did not give up. Sparkle knew he could find a way to fly if he just kept trying. After each failed attempt, Sparkle would carefully watch the birds and butterflies, studying how they soared through the air so effortlessly. He began to notice how they angled their wings to catch the air currents. Sparkle practiced angling his horn in different directions as he ran, imagining that it was his wing. One bright sunny morning Sparkle once again climbed to the top of the tallest hill, took a deep breath and started running. This time when his hooves left the ground Sparkle angled his horn up and caught the air current just right. Instead of tumbling down, Sparkle soared up. He was flying. Sparkle grinned from ear to ear as he gracefully flew over the trees. This was even better than he had imagined. Sparkle sailed over the forest canopy, waving to the birds and butterflies that he passed. He followed the river to the beautiful rainbow waterfalls, and then looped through the puffy clouds high in the sky. Sparkle couldn't believe how amazing it felt to fly. His heart pounded with joy and excitement. After a while Sparkle's legs started to get wobbly from holding them outstretched. He gently angled down towards a soft mossy clearing. As his hooves touched down Sparkle fell forward, exhausted but very proud of his incredible accomplishment. He was the very first flying unicorn. When he finally caught his breath, Sparkle headed home to tell his mother all about his incredible adventure. Starshine's eyes widened in disbelief as Sparkle told his tale. She had never heard of a unicorn that could fly before. The other unicorns would surely never believe it. The very next day Sparkle led his mother to the tallest hill just as the sunrise was turning the sky pink and orange. He took a deep running start, angled his horn just right, and soared up into the sky. Starshine watched in amazement as her son gracefully flew over the forest before landing next to her. She had never seen anything like it in her whole life. From that day on, Sparkle kept practicing his flying every day. He helped the birds migrate across the forests. He played aerial tag with the butterflies. And he explored places he could never reach on foot before. Sparkle's magical flying gift brought joy and amazement to all the creatures of the forest. But one day as Sparkle was flying over the next valley, he was spotted by a fierce dragon named Scorch. Scorch roared in fury, breathing hot flames into the sky. He didn't like anyone in his valley, especially a show-off unicorn that could fly. Scorch flapped his mighty wings, racing after Sparkle. Sparkle desperately tried to escape the angry dragon, turning sharply and diving into thick clouds. But Scorch continued chasing him. Sparkle's heart pounded as he flew faster than he ever had before. But Scorch steadily gained on him, roaring and breathing fire. As Sparkle looked back to see Scorch nearly on top of him, he didn't see the tall rocky spire rising from the misty valley ahead. Smack! Sparkle crashed head first into the rocky spire and tumbled down into the canyon below. Bruised and battered, Sparkle weakly stood up at the bottom of the gloomy canyon. One of his hind legs was badly hurt from the fall. Worst of all, Sparkle's beautiful horn was cracked and bent. He tried to fly out of the canyon, but without his strong upright horn he just zigzagged through the air before crashing back down. It seemed Sparkle's flying days were over. The days turned into weeks as Sparkle remained stranded at the bottom of the gloomy canyon, cold and hungry. He missed his cozy home in the colorful forest and his mother's sweet voice. Sparkle felt like giving up hope of ever flying freely again. But he knew his mother must be very worried about him. He had to find a way back to her somehow. Then one sunny day, a majestic winged horse named Athena found Sparkle stranded in the canyon. She explained to him that she was a Pegasus, a magical flying horse. Athena was very impressed that a unicorn had learned to fly on his own. She wanted to help Sparkle escape the canyon and reunite with his mother. Athena gently grasped Sparkle's shirt with her strong jaws and flew straight up out of the deep canyon with Sparkle dangling below her. It was scary for Sparkle at first, but soon he relaxed and enjoyed the view as Athena carried him over the misty valley. Sparkle's broken horn could no longer make him fly, but thanks to his new Pegasus friend, he was flying again. Athena flew Sparkle back to the colorful forest and helped him find his way home. His mother Starshine cried happy tears to see her son again after so many long weeks. Sparkle was thrilled to be home even though he could no longer fly by himself. He would always have the magical memories of soaring alone over the forest when he was the world's first flying unicorn. Sparkle went on to live a long, happy life with his mother in the colorful forest. Athena visited him often, giving Sparkle rides on her strong Pegasus back. And Sparkle learned that while his flying days were over, he still had a kind, brave heart and many other gifts to share. He discovered being grounded could be just as magical as soaring through the sky. Sparkle saw that doing your best is always an amazing accomplishment, even if your horn is broken. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there lived a lion named Leo. Leo was different from other lions because he could not roar loudly like they could. Whenever Leo tried to roar, only a tiny squeak would come out. This made all the other lions laugh and tease Leo. Poor Leo was very embarrassed about his tiny roar. He tried everything he could think of to try to roar louder. He drank lots of water to help make his voice stronger. He did vocal exercises and stretched his mouth wide open. But no matter what Leo tried, his roar never got any louder. One day, Leo decided enough was enough. "I'm going to go see the wise old owl in the forest," Leo said. "Surely she will know what I can do to roar properly like a real lion." And so Leo set off on a journey through the forest to find the wise old owl. Leo walked through the dense forest for days, searching for the wise owl's tree. Finally, just as Leo was about to give up, he stumbled upon a towering, ancient tree with a wise old owl perched on one of its branches. "Wise owl, please help me," Leo cried. "No matter how hard I try, I cannot roar loudly like the other lions. All that comes out is a tiny squeak. How can I learn to roar properly?" The wise owl thought carefully. "True strength comes from within," she told Leo. "It does not always depend on size or loudness. Look inside yourself and find your inner power." Leo was puzzled by the owl's advice. How would looking inside himself help his roar get louder? But he trusted the wise owl, so he found a quiet spot, took a deep breath, and looked within himself. To Leo's surprise, when he looked within himself, he realized that his tiny roar was not something to be embarrassed about at all. It was what made him special. Focusing on his inner strength made Leo's heart swell with pride for who he was. Just then, Leo heard cries for help nearby. A young deer was caught in a trap. Without thinking, Leo rushed over and saw that a frightened fawn was trapped in a hunter's net. Though Leo knew his tiny roar could not scare away the hunters, he knew he had to help. He took a deep breath, focused on his inner strength, and ripped the net open with his claws, freeing the fawn. "You saved me," cried the fawn. "How can I ever thank you?" Proudly, Leo let out his tiny roar, and the fawn listened in awe, understanding now what the wise owl had meant about true strength coming from within. From that day on, Leo roared loudly with pride, knowing his roar was special. Once upon a time there was a beautiful fairy princess named Zinnia who lived in a magical forest kingdom. Zinnia spent her days playing with the woodland creatures, singing to the flowers to help them bloom, and using her magic wand to make rainbows appear after rainstorms. One sunny afternoon, Zinnia decided to venture deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. "I want to explore the whole kingdom," she declared. The curious princess skipped past the babbling brook, marched through the shady oak grove, and pushed her way through thickets of brambles. After walking for quite some time, Zinnia came upon a clearing she had never seen before. To her amazement, there was a beautiful unicorn with a silver horn and rainbow mane drinking from a crystal pool. The unicorn majestically lifted its head and looked straight at Zinnia with its large violet eyes. Zinnia could hardly believe her eyes. She had heard tales of these legendary creatures but never dreamed she would encounter one. The princess slowly moved toward the unicorn, not wanting to frighten it away. "Hello, noble friend," she said in a soft voice. "My name is Zinnia." The unicorn bowed its shimmering head in response. Zinnia took this as a good sign and stepped even closer, extending her hand slowly until she was stroking the unicorn's gleaming neck. It nuzzled her gently, and Zinnia knew they would be friends forever. From that day on, Zinnia visited the unicorn, who she named Moonbeam, whenever she could. They frolicked gaily through the forest, pranced in flower-filled meadows, and swam in the crystal pool. Sometimes Zinnia braided Moonbeam's silky rainbow mane or decorated his horn with flowers. One morning Zinnia ran to meet Moonbeam and found him looking forlorn. "Whatever is the matter?" she asked. Moonbeam hung his head sadly and pawed the ground with his hoof. Zinnia realized her friend was lonely. Unicorns need other unicorns. Zinnia knew she must help Moonbeam find more unicorns to make friends. The pair set off on a quest, venturing farther than Zinnia had ever been. After many days of traveling through new parts of the forest, they came upon a whole herd of unicorns gathered in a hidden valley. Moonbeam whinnied excitedly at the sight of the other unicorns. He darted off to make new friends. Zinnia watched for a while, happy she had found Moonbeam the companionship he needed. Then she slowly walked back home, thinking fondly of the adventures she and her unicorn friend had together. Though she missed Moonbeam, Zinnia knew she had done right by the majestic creature. And she would always cherish the magical times they shared deep in the fairy forest kingdom. The end.